unload the material now for long-term storage, since this printer won't be used for a little while. So I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to go into my material menu, the third button down, and I'm going to first unload my model material. So I'm going to go to that screen, press on the model bay, and then I'm going to press unload. And now we're going to see the reverse of what we were seeing before. You should see the little blue line, kind of a dash line heading back towards the model bay. So we're waiting for our print heads to heat up, and then the material will release from the head. It will get wound back down. We'll then coil it back up, and then we're going to put it in those bags for storage. Okay, so we see right here, if I click on this, it's basically telling me to remove the spool. I'm going to open this bay up. Open this up, we can see the material is sort of wound up in here, so the best thing I find is just to lift it out. And it's going to spit that material out, and then we're going to wind this back up ourselves. So it'll spit it from the head, but it doesn't wind the spool for you. So we're going to rewind it on the spool. And once we get it back up, we're going to look for the areas on the spool. There's 2 of them where we can clip the material. So I can't really reach this one with it. Well, actually, no, I can just reach one. So I'm going to clip it to this one back here. So I'll bring it up around the top of the spool, and I'm going to clip it in 2 spots. And if you want, you can snip off the little remainder if you're putting it into the bag and you worry about that unclipping because it catches something. You can do that, but ultimately that's what that should look like. As the material come up, you'll see this little area where it can kind of, there's a little channel for it, and then we can clip it in 2 spots, and now we can store this in those bags. So I'm going to repeat the process for the other spool. So now our first spool, or our bay, is empty. Our second bay, I'll unload. And while that's unloading, I'm going to prepare the bags for the printer. So we got our roll of bags here. Now you really can fit more than 1 spool per bag, but since we don't have to in this case, I'm just going to use separate bags for them. Up. Take our spool, drop it in the bag, and then it's just really a big Ziploc, so not really too difficult to figure out. The only thing is sometimes what I'll do is I'll sort of try to press a little bit of the air out just to reduce the amount of air present in there, in case it's humid. Pull this out, same thing. Pull this spool out as I do that. Now sometimes you might get a little bit of where the material's loose. I don't love that, so what I'll do in those cases, because I don't want it to get tangled when I reload it, I'll just unspool a little bit of it until it's nice and tight and re-spool it myself manually, just to make sure that we don't have anything that could cause a cross-wound spool when we go to reload this. Okay, so we're going to close our bay, close our door, and our spool will be flipped up here. I can just fit this on the 2 pieces, so that's like a perfect amount. Put that there and there. And when we go to reload this, we're going to snip off a little bit. Again, we don't want any kinked parts going into the head because that can cause clogs. So our second bag is here. Both of these spools are ready to be stored. So we're going to open the bottom drawer. This is a good storage drawer. I'm going to put both of these spools in. And I feel a little bit of air in here as I'm folding this bag over, so I'm just going to open it, kind of press a little bit more out. Put that in there. And then I'll put the rest of my welcome kit in here. And the F-170 comes with the PLA heads, so this is a good place to store those as well. And we'll close it up.